Maggie features Abigail Breslin in the titular role of a troubled young woman infected with a disease that will soon turn her into a member of the undead. And with only weeks left before this terrifying disease consumes her body and mind, only Maggie's estranged father will be by her side until the bitter end. Greetings, Cinemaniacs. I'm Cinematico Magnifico of AmoralCrackpot.com, and welcome to the Nightly Chill. Directed by Henry Hobson, Maggie's dramatic tale of a troubled relationship between father and daughter in the face of death is arguably the smartest reimagining of the zombie genre. Because while recent years have seen a drastic rise in the number of zombie-labeled films, they more or less fall into two distinct categories. The first are those which are little more than yet another retread of George Romero's Zombie Apocalypse, in which the film focuses on the survivors struggling to survive both the undead horde and the worst humanity still has to offer. The others, likely inspired by Edgar Wright's 2004 Shaun of the Dead, instead takes a more lighthearted approach on the zombie apocalypse. Maggie, however, is a dark, grounded look at the same basic scenario. The zombie plague in this movie is less end of the world and more terminal disease. There's no gross out moment, no over-the-top gore or violence, no silly rom-com antics, no shock, no awe, no melodrama. All we get is a straight gut punch of a movie in which we witness a young woman slowly unravel in her final days while her father is forced to watch. And surprisingly, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a big reason why the movie works so well. Hobson's direction keeps the movie focused and grounded in spite of a premise often rooted in campy fun. Breslin, meanwhile, is wholly convincing as this damaged young woman paying a terrible price for what amounts to a fairly innocent act of recklessness. Her emotional and physical breakdown is gripping and engaging, but it's Schwarzenegger's performance as Maggie's father Wade that brings it all together. Now, it would be safe to say that Schwarzenegger has never been much for nuance. Whether he's an unstoppable killing machine, a lovable reformed killing machine, or a hapless father trying to get his son the hottest toy for Christmas, Arnold is a legitimately larger-than-life man who excels at bringing to life larger-than-life characters. He can do deadly serious, he can do silly, but he's often been a go big or go home sort of performer, with little in the way of smaller subtle roles. And that all changes in Maggie. Arnold Schwarzenegger might inexplicably be playing a Midwest farmer named Wade, but he never feels out of place in the role either. He never feels like he's trying to tackle material or a performance out of his league. Instead, his role as Wade brings to light something movie audiences never really knew. Schwarzenegger has some real dramatic chops. And somehow this decades-long persona that Schwarzenegger has built for himself works in his favor in the movie's heavier scenes. Because for the first time ever, Arnold comes across as emotionally vulnerable and physically weak. He's an older man. He's a tired, broken man barely keeping himself together as he watches his daughter rot before his very eyes. And while I'm sure another actor with a better track record for emotionally deep, resonating performances could have easily done well in the same role, it simply would not have had the same impact. But while the movie certainly deserves recognition and praise for its smart handling of the sort of material long resigned to cheap scares and laughs, Maggie shouldn't be mistaken for a movie without fault. Yes, the performances are touching. Yes, the music accentuates a scene rather than direct it. And yes, the cinematography is a suitable visual approach to an equally gloomy story, stringing together one gloomy scene after the next. But it all feels anemic due to so little time being dedicated to both Maggie's emotional journey and her strained relationship with Wade. Now, more often than not, the scenes we should be seeing are there, but they're often cut far too short. In one moment, we're seeing another heartbreaking performance by Breslin as she slips deeper into Maggie's illness. But then the movie cuts to Wade arguing with his new wife about Maggie and the trouble she presents to their family. And then the argument is cut short to go on to a new scene. Wash, rinse, repeat. What's there is serviceable enough, but more time and material is desperately needed to provide the nuance such a story demands. Again, the scenes all work as is, and perhaps it's a bit selfish to be asking more of a movie than what it can or cares to present. Maybe more would prove to be an overindulgence in what works in more measured doses. Maybe it speaks to the surprising nature of Maggie's story and performances, especially that of the uncharacteristically subtle and bleak Arnold. Maggie might not be the best zombie movie, it's certainly not the best drama either, but it might very well be the best marriage of both. More so, Maggie stands as a testament to the notion that even the most overplayed and watered down concepts can be rejuvenated and even elevated to brand new heights. It's far from perfect, but the willingness and spirit of something greater is present, and that's precisely why you should chill with Maggie. That's going to do it for this episode of the Nightly Chill. As always, this show is brought to you in part by our fans. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and share. And if you'd like to find even more reviews, or perhaps learn how to support the show, please visit amoralcrackpot.com. Finally, The Nightly Chill is written, voiced, and produced by me, TLVSoE. Agree or disagree with today's review? Let me know however you can. But until next time, y'all need to make like a tree and get out of here.